G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Brad Rides Reviews. Today I have the one and only Ducati Scrambler 800. So believe it or not, this is my first time ever riding a Ducati, let alone a Scrambler. So I am very excited to take it through the ropes and to see how she performs through the roads. We're going to go through styling. As you've seen in the previous clip, I've already gone through the specs, so we don't have to bore each other with the details. But let's just get straight into it. Now I want to give a big shout out to Rick Gill's Motorcycles in Osborne Park. So if you guys are ever looking for a bike and you live in Western Australia, make sure you check him out. Super friendly staff, super happy to help. Now, the first thing I will say is that this red color you see here, this is not a factory Ducati paint. This bike was painted aftermarket, so unfortunately, if you do really like the color, you can't get it off the market shelf. But we are talking about this bike, so let's talk about the color. I think it's actually a beautiful paint job on it. I really do like this kind of cherry red style. There are mixed opinions on the seat color. It does look good with the black, but I actually kind of like it with the kind of, what would you call that? A tan color? I think it's a tan color. I think it works really well with the bright, kind of breaks up the whole bike a bit. Now, these handlebars, they are obviously aftermarket. That stands out pretty well. Look, it's a personal preference. I personally wouldn't put these handlebars on the bike, but it doesn't ruin the whole bike. You know, they're a much wider handlebar. I have noticed that when riding the bike. If you haven't seen my first ride and reaction to the bike, go check out my previous video. That has me actually first experiencing the bike for the first time. So if you want to see that video, check that out in the previous video. I personally love the Scrambler look, the mix between the off-road and the road. You have the kind of semi-off-road suspension ride height. Now this bike does usually come with the all-terrain tires. This one specifically has road tires put on it. And obviously being a Ducati, they run the premium features. You know, you have Brembo brakes, which on a bike that's as light as this one, it's very noticeable with really good brakes on it. Now, if you are looking to pick a 2022 model up like this one in 2026, you're probably going to be looking to expect to pay around $6,500 US. You're going to be looking at maybe, what have I got here? 9,500 Australian and 6,500 euros. So that's not a bad price, really, for a bike of this caliber. Now, she is a bit of a thirsty girl. If you're looking at relaxed riding, you're probably only going to get about 260 kilometers out of a tank. So in miles, you're looking at around 155 to 160 miles per tank. So she does guzzle a bit of fuel. It's not a very big fuel tank. I'm sure if it was a 15-litre fuel tank, you'd probably get 300 kilometers out of a tank pretty easily. Enough chit chat, like usual. Let's just take it for a ride. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. I just had to let my camera cool down because it is too hot out here and it was overheating. But she's cool now, so let's go for a ride. All right, let's start her up. Oh yeah. How good does that sound? Can't beat it. Let's go. Now, one thing I will say about the throttle on this bike, it is super snappy, super responsive. I was only really using 25% of the throttle the whole way here. Listen to that V-twin. Oh, Ducati really do know how to make a beautiful sounding motorcycle. Now, weighing in at only 173 kilos wet weight, this bike's power to weight ratio is insane. It runs at 71 horsepower with around 60 something newton meters of torque. I'm not a very good bike reviewer, am I? And man, you can really feel it. It is punchy, and it's punchy all the way. And because this bike is quite high up off the ground, even the way the frame sits off the ground, you can get it into corners without having to worry about low siding out. Because this bike was also built for off-road, it needs that right height of clearance to be able to actually take it off-road. So you kind of, when you have it on the road, you have the perks of having a higher bike to be able to lean into the corners on. I got to get past this car. Now let me know what you guys think about the handlebars. One thing I did notice is when you're riding down the middle of traffic, it's almost too wide. You do risk kind of hitting wind. Let me know what you guys think about the handlebars here. They're aftermarket, but they're super wide, which when you're riding like this, I really love it, but in the middle of traffic, when you're trying to go through the middle, it does feel a little bit too wide, and I do feel like I'm going to hit some side mirrors. So the amount of torque this bike puts out is insane. 60 newton meters of torque doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're riding on 170 kilos, you can really feel it. Oh, just the snap, crackle and pop of that exhaust when you're downshifting. I don't know if this bike, I don't know if you can get quick shifters for the Ducati Scrambler, but if you can, it's probably definitely worth getting. As much as I do like manual shifting, this bike would really benefit from a quick shifter. No complaints in the comfort department of it. You know, for a bike with a bench seat, you're pretty upright. Sorry, I'm probably shouting here. You're quite upright in a position, your back's kind of semi-straight. I do have super wide handlebars, but it's a very comfortable bike to ride, I'll tell you that. You can change kind of your seating position whichever way you like, having this long seat at the back. My foot pegs right underneath me. Now this bike only has a single disc front brake and rear brake calipers, but that's all you need because it's not a heavy bike. And the fact that they're Brembos gives it that extra bit of comfort knowing you've got the stopping power. Now being a light bike, as I was saying before, it is super nimble, like super nimble. You can really lean into these corners quite confidently and then power out of them. Woo! Oh yeah. It just feels like there's a torque range all the way through. Now suspension being adjustable forks and rear adjustable suspension, they're doing their job quite nicely. Now this large bench seat actually I feel like absorbs a lot of the shock anyway, so now I definitely do think that the Scrambler would look a lot nicer with those gold plated forks, but you know, it's just a small detail. There's one thing that sticks out like dog's balls on this bike, which I'm sure you've seen already. It's this stupid cabling. I don't know why they do it. I don't know if it's a trend or if it's a style, because the DRZ that I rode had the same issue and I hated it. I get it's probably part of the aesthetics, you know, it's a off-road capable bike, but there's got to be a way to tidy this up a bit nicer. It's almost borderline cutting in front of my speedometer. It's just ugly, and it just bugs me. But it could be a personal preference. You know, some people probably like that look. But it's probably one thing I would look at changing if I did buy this bike. I've always been curious about Scramblers because obviously they're a hybrid, right? They're an off-road and an on-road capable bike. You can hook some saddles up, you can take it camping, and then you can use it as a daily for your day-to-day rides. And I can see the appeal. I mean, look how nimble this is. It's nice to be able to have an all-terrain bike, to be able to do the things you want to do on the weekends. Just swap over to a set of off-road tyres and off you go for the weekend. And I tell you, you'll definitely have plenty of power to get you through anything. Oh yeah! There is no end to the power on this bike. It is a bundle of fun. It just feels ruthless, just super aggressive, and yet tame. I actually strongly believe that even though this is an 800, anyone could get on this bike and take it out. It's not too intimidating to the eye, it's not too intimidating to sit on and ride. It is a great all-rounder. Part of me really does love the analog, the using the clutch. You know, I feel like every bike these days does come with a quick shifter. It is refreshing to ride bikes without them every now and then, especially to still keep my grip strength, because it's quite easy to become lazy. Now, you definitely are spoiled for choice when it comes to Scramblers nowadays. Pretty much every make and model has their own version of a Scrambler. But I can tell you, to buy a second-hand one like this, a 2022 model, it's not a very old bike, it's only a few years old. And to only have to pay $6,500 US or 9,000 Australian, it's a bloody good price. I mean, that's the price you would pay for beginner bikes, you know, 650s and under. The build quality is unfaultable. Yes, you don't have a lot of buttons to press, but that's great, you know. I've always said that less is more sometimes. Everything on this bike feels premium, as it should, being a Ducati. But the only thing that you don't have to pay for premium-wise is the price. I do really love this paint colour though, look at that. It's quite a unique colour, but it works really well with the silver and the black. Alright, now keep in mind, being a Scrambler, do not take this bike for granted. It has plenty of power to get you in trouble if you're not careful. Now, big question. Would this be a bike that I would consider buying? I don't even have to think about it. I would just say yes, absolutely. Absolutely, it'd be a bike I consider buying. Looks like there's a lot of guys out today. So as I was saying, yes, this would be a bike I would consider buying, absolutely. And if you're looking for a Scrambler style motorcycle and you've come across this review, yes, it's not the most detailed review out there, but it's a simple guy who has so guys, oh yeah, if you are thinking about making the leap to get a Scrambler, I would seriously consider looking in the line of Ducati, because this bike has definitely impressed me. Not that saying that I wasn't expecting much. You know, Ducati has a pretty high reputation, so I was kind of had high expectations, but it is just a bundle of joy to ride. Now maybe it comes across in my videos that I like every bike, but I'm not a very picky person, and I guess until I keep riding bikes I'm not going to know what I like and don't like. But it's very hard to fault what I don't like on this bike. The only thing I would probably change is the width of the handlebars. They'll probably get a bit shorter. Other than that, that's it guys. I would definitely buy this bike. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, there we go. If I had to rate this bike out of 10, I would definitely give it a solid, I want to say 8. I would give it an 8, definitely. Yep, 8 out of 10. That's what I rate it. And if you don't like it, too bad. Very pleasing to the eye, very pleasing to the ears, and just a bundle of joy to ride. So guys, I wanted to try something a bit different today. You know, I have been making some review videos that are in the 20-25 minute range, but upon looking at the analytics, a lot of my watch time is only around 3 minutes to 4 minutes. So I'm trying to find a way to shorten these reviews and make them a bit more time sensitive friendly, because not all of us have half an hour to watch a review. So I might try something different with this video today. I'm going to I kind of skipped a lot of the mumbo jumbo, just went straight to the review, and hopefully it's only about 10 minutes long this time. So if you think that's a good direction to go, please let me know. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't really like to say this, but please subscribe if you do enjoy the content and you want to see more. It helps get me to those goals of becoming monetized and actually hopefully making a living doing this in the future. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.